Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. For today, I'm going to do another Christmas theme project, or I should say holiday theme, because you don't have to do it for Christmas. But this is a super cute card using the Hang Your Stockings sets, or stamp set and framelits. And I actually made this card for my team swap for the month of November. And I was planning on doing a class with this set, and then I decided that I'm just not going to do a class for December. I'm going to take a little break, and then starting the beginning of the year in January, we're going to do a bunch of classes using all of the new stuff from the Occasions catalog. So I had already designed this card, so I figured I would go ahead and make a video on it since I think it's super cute. I absolutely love this one. So for this card, what you are going to need is obviously the Hang Your Stocking stamp set, and this coordinates with the Christmas stocking thinlits. So these two go together. They're a bundle in the holiday catalog. Once the holiday catalog expires or goes away at the end of December, these two items will still be available. They just won't be available as a bundle to receive that extra 10% off. So if you like these and you're interested in getting them and getting that discount, I would jump on it right away. We're also going to be using the Hearth and Home framelits and the brick wall embossing folder. I absolutely love this embossing folder. I use it all the time and I cannot get enough of it. And I think this project is a perfect one to use it with. We're going to be using Cherry Cobbler and Emerald Envy for our ink pads. This Baker's Twine that I can't remember, it's part of the Candy Cane Lane suite, I think. And this, if I remember correctly, is retiring once the holiday catalog goes away. So if you want to get this, it comes with a spool of Real Red. It's the same Baker's Twine that I used a couple days ago, or last week, I guess, in the project that I did making the little tags. So it comes in a duo with that. So if you want this, make sure you get your hands on it before the end of the month. For paper, we're going to be using chocolate chip cardstock, and this is cut at 2 1/4 by 2 3/4. I have a piece of Whisper White here. This is just a scrap piece of Whisper White, but I do have another piece which is cut at 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. I have a piece of Cherry Cobbler cardstock, which is cut at 3 1/2 by 4. And then I have this piece of crumb cake. This is just a scrap piece that I had, and I've already embossed it using the brick wall embossing folder, but I'll show you how to do that in case you don't know with one of our other pieces. And this, I don't have dimensions. It's just, we're going to be using this to cut out our fireplace. So you need to make sure it's large enough for that. And then I have another piece of crumb cake, which is cut at 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 for our card base. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so to get started, let's go ahead and stamp our little stockings so we can get all of our big shot stuff out of the way. So I'm going to take this little tiny stocking here with the polka dots, and I'm going to use my Emerald Envy ink and just ink this up like so. And we need 2 stockings. So there's 1 and 2, just like that. Close this up, and now I'm going to bring in my big shot, and we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with the big shot for this project. So first thing that I'm going to do is take my my embossing folder, the brick wall embossing folder, and like I said, I already embossed that piece of crumb cake, so you will need to emboss that, but we're also going to be embossing our piece of chocolate chip cardstock. So I'm opening it up to tab 1 on my multi-purpose platform. I'm just taking my piece and shoving it in the embossing folder like so. I have one cutting plate down, put the embossing folder on, and then the other cutting plate on top, and just crank it through like so. Okay, so then we have that piece, and I'll take that out in just a second. The rest of the stuff that we're going to be doing is cutting, so I'm going to flip it back to tab 2. And let's start off by cutting out, our fireplace. So taking that piece of crumb cake that we've already embossed, I'm going to use the Hearth and Home's framelits And I'm just going to put these on here like so. And go ahead and crank that through. There we go. Super fast. Okay, I'm going to set these off to the side as well. And then the only other thing that we need to cut are our little stockings. So for this, we're going to use the Christmas stockings set. And there's this little tiny stocking. So, whoops. I'm going to use that, and I'm just going to grab a little piece of washi tape. Stick that on there just like that. Crank it through once. And then line it up again. And crank it through another time. Okay, so that is all of the Big Shot stuff that we're doing. So you should have all of your pieces now, just like so. Okay, so I'm going to set all of this stuff off to the side because we don't need it right this second. I'm going to take my little piece of chocolate chip out, set that off to the side as well. Okay, so I want to go ahead and do our stamping on our piece of cherry cobbler. Now for this, there are two separate little stamps. There's a dog barking outside, so my dogs might be going crazy in a second. Maybe not. Maybe we're good. Okay, so there are these two little like holly leaves and berries. They're separate stamp sets, but I just put them on the same block. And all I'm going to do is take my cherry cobbler ink and stamp all around the edge of my piece. Now I should have grabbed, actually, I have this from a video I did a few days ago. So you can be super mindful with this. I obviously am not being super mindful with it. You do want to make sure you go into the cardstock a little bit because we do have quite a thick border on this. So you will see quite a bit of the actual cherry cobbler. So just be mindful of that. When you are stamping, you want to make sure that you get to see all of the stamping and that it's not just a bunch of cherry cobbler. This is really easy to do though, and it's actually a pretty fun, for me at least, I think it's fun and therapeutic to stamp. And then like I said, I'm going to go into the middle of the card or the piece of cardstock just to make sure that I don't have any areas where it's not stamped once we put everything together. Okay, so set that off to the side. Da, da, da. And I'm actually going to set this off to the side as well. And I had a baby wipe, but I don't know where it went, so I'll just wipe that up with my hands. It's not a video if I don't have inky hands. So let's pull back our pieces that we just cut out. And how did this not cut all the way? What in the heck? Okay, so the bottom of my fireplace didn't cut all the way, so I'm going to run it through my Big Shot one more time. There we go. Okay, now it's definitely cut all the way. So pop out these 4 squares. We're not going to be using those. This one is a little difficult to get out of the framelit. It's not difficult, but it takes a little bit of maneuvering. So I just have this poker tool and I just poke through the holes. Whoops. Just like that. Now I'm going to take some scissors and I'm just going to snip the little innard piece to make this into a fireplace. Just like that. So take my stockings, punch that out. Okay, so I'm going to take my fireplace and I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to use my fine tip glue pen. And I'm just going to do a little bit of glue right on the edge. You don't need a lot. And you don't want to do too much because sometimes it'll smudge out the edges. So you just want just a little bit. And then, whoops, that's not where I want this. You're going to take the piece of chocolate chip and stick it on the back. And just hold that down for a couple seconds. And dun, 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 flip it over and you have this really cool fireplace piece. Just holding this for a couple more seconds to make sure that everything adheres. Okay, we're good. So now we can take the hearth piece of this and grab some dimensionals. And I'm going to use 3. So 1 on each side and then 1 in the middle. Okay. And I'm going to stick this up at the top. Oops. Center it as best as possible. Just, whoops. I'm not doing a very good job at this right now. Maybe if I do it this way. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. So now I'm going to take my stockings, I'm going to flip these over, and I'm going to put 1 dimensional on like the base of each of the stockings. Whoops. I just took the backing off of that one on accident. And I'm going to take my fine tip glue pen again just because I have it out. You could use just your regular snail adhesive if you wanted to, but I just have this sitting here, so I'm just going to use it. Put the cap back on it. And I'm going to place my stockings on here. Now the reason we have 1 dimensional and glue is because the glue needs to adhere to the hearth and the dimensional is going to keep it popped up on this piece that's not raised. So I just kind of eyeball where I want these to go. It doesn't have to be perfect. There's no perfect way to do it. There's no right or wrong way to do it. And you just want to hold down the tops of your stockings where we have that glue to make sure that it adheres to your fireplace. Okay, so we're almost done. Now we just need to kind of put everything together. So while that kind of dries a little bit, I'm going to take my real red cardstock and, or sorry, not real red, cherry cobbler. Hello. And I'm going to put this onto our piece of Whisper White. Just like that. And now I'll take this and put it all on here, just like so. So stinking cute. Now we need to grab our card base. Take this, fold it in half. Where's my bone folder? I don't know, so I'll use this one. Okay. I'm just going to take some regular snail again and put that on the back of our Whisper White piece. And stick this on our card. So I'm putting it up towards the top because down here I'm now going to take my cherry cobbler again. And I'm going to stamp the Merry Christmas greeting that's in this stamp set. Now there are a couple other greetings in the stamp set if you didn't want to do Merry Christmas. There are a couple other that I don't believe are Christmas related. I can't remember off the top of my head. Let me see. So we have happiness is coming to town and wishing you a season filled with love and happiness. So neither one of those are Christmas specifically. So you would be good to use either one of those and just do a general holiday season's greeting card. That would work perfectly. So the last touch for this card is to do our little bow. Now, if you took my Sweet Home class, we tied, blah, blah, blah. Let me try that again. If you took my Sweet Home class, you got some of this in your class packet, and the little houses that we made, we put a bow on there. So, you may know my struggle and frustration, excuse me, with this. But I love this stuff so much. It's so pretty. So I just can't get away from using it. And like I said, I made these cards for a swap. So I tied, I think 20 something bows with this. And after a while you get the hang of it. You just kind of have to play with it and get used to it. Okay, good. So I'm just going to use again my fine tip glue pen because I have it here. And you can just put a little tiny dab there and stick your bow down and it'll stay. It does take just a minute for it to start to set and adhere, but it really does stick it down and it'll stay for a super long time. There we go. I'm going to trim the ends of my little bow just slightly. Whoops, it's not adhered. And if you find that that's not working, this is how I did all of my swaps. But if you find that's not working, I might just use a glue dot. Okay, there we go. And if I could pick the card up, whew, that is our card for today, guys. I really hope you enjoy. This one's super cute and easy, and there's a lot of elements to it, but they're not hard. It's so easy to do, and a lot of it is big shot stuff, which really gives a really fun impact, and people will love it, I promise. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. As always, you can check out the first link in the description below, which will take you directly to my website and the coordinating blog post for this. If you want to head over and shop directly with the shop directly on Stampin' Up! To get all of those products, you can go to littlemooncreation.stampinup.net. And if you, again, if you need an occasions and celebrations catalog, please, you can visit my website and get it, use a contact me form there, or you can go and just email me directly at littlemooncreation@gmail.com and I will get one sent right out to you. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you next time.